biggest story.
Jayden Harris wiped the sweat from his brow, balancing a tray loaded with steaming dishes and clinking glasses. At 15, he was already familiar with the rhythm of work, the smell of fried food, and the faint ache in his shoulders after long shifts. Each night, in the small diner tucked away in the poorest corner of town, he moved quietly from table to table, serving customers who barely acknowledged his presence. His faded clothes, worn sneakers, and dark skin were constant reminders of the invisible line that separated him from others. Yet, there was another side of Jayden, hidden away from the judgmental eyes of the world, a side bursting with rhythm, dreams, and the fierce beats of hip-hop. After closing hours, beneath the dim glow of streetlights, he would practice his dance moves, each step speaking louder than words he never dared to say. One evening, as Jayden spun and moved gracefully in the empty schoolyard, lost in his own world, he suddenly heard applause. Startled, he turned to see Marcus Bennett, a popular senior whose friendly demeanor and genuine kindness made him beloved by students across the school. "You're really good," Marcus smiled warmly, stepping closer. "Why haven't you joined the school talent show? You'd be incredible." Jayden hesitated, averting his eyes. I don't belong up there." Marcus placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder, his voice gentle but firm. "Don't ever say that. Talent doesn't care about your background. It only cares how brave you are." Unbeknownst to them, Dylan West, a boy whose privilege had always shielded him from empathy, watched from the shadows, smirking coldly as he plotted his next cruel joke. He would make sure Jayden never dared to dream again. Little did they all know, someone else was also watching closely from afar. Vincent Reed, the powerful CEO of Reed Entertainment, sat in his parked car across the street, intrigued by the young dancer whose passion cut through the darkness. His keen eyes narrowed thoughtfully, sensing potential and possibility unfolding before him. This night was the beginning of something far bigger than any of them could imagine. Jayden Harris had always treasured those quiet, solitary moments under the faint glow of streetlights, where the world faded away, leaving only rhythm and emotion. Dance was his language, his secret escape, and hip-hop was the poetry he never dared speak aloud. Every evening after working long hours at the diner, Jayden would slip away to the abandoned basketball court behind the school, where cracked pavement met graffiti-covered walls, practicing relentlessly until exhaustion claimed him. He believed this sanctuary was safe from prying eyes, but fate had other plans. One crisp autumn afternoon, the school organized a large picnic in a nearby park, celebrating the beginning of a new semester. Jayden, accustomed to blending into the background, had found a secluded spot beneath an ancient oak tree, quietly observing from afar. Lost in thought, his headphones softly played his favorite beats, fingers tapping subtly to the rhythm. Unbeknownst to him, Dylan West and his entourage had been watching from a distance. Dylan, the school's golden boy, thrived on popularity and privilege, carrying himself with a superiority that few dared challenge. He despised those he deemed lesser, and Jayden, with his humble origins and quiet demeanor, was a perfect target. Dylan approached silently, his mocking voice breaking Jayden's moment of peace. "Hey, look everyone, it's our resident hip-hop prodigy, hiding away again. Too embarrassed to show us your little street moves?" Jayden froze, his heart thudding painfully against his ribs as other students began to gather around, curious about the commotion. Dylan smirked, eyes cold and calculating. "Come on, Jayden, why don't you give us a show? Or are you afraid everyone will finally see you're nothing but a joke?" Laughter echoed around the circle, and heat rushed to Jayden's face. Shame washed over him, amplifying the whispers and snickers that grew louder by the second. Dylan leaned in closer, his voice dripping with condescension. "Face it, Jayden, people like you don't belong on stage. They belong behind counters, serving burgers." Jayden struggled to breathe, humiliation choking him as he rose hastily to his feet, stumbling away from the taunts and laughter that followed him like a storm. He didn't stop until he reached the isolated comfort of the basketball court, tears burning in his eyes. Doubt clawed at him fiercely, each cruel word replaying mercilessly in his mind. Perhaps Dylan was right. Perhaps his dreams were just foolish fantasies, destined never to be more than secret, unfulfilled hopes. Days passed, and Jayden withdrew further into himself, avoiding everyone, even Marcus Bennett. Marcus noticed the change immediately, the quiet despair in Jayden's eyes, the heavy slump of his shoulders. Marcus finally found Jayden one evening, seated quietly at the edge of the empty court, his headphones abandoned beside him. Marcus approached slowly, sitting beside his friend in supportive silence, before speaking gently. "Jayden, don't let Dylan define who you are. Your passion and talent aren't something to hide or feel ashamed of." Jayden shook his head, voice barely audible. He was right. "I'm just fooling myself. No one wants to see someone like me perform. I'm not cut out for this." Marcus placed a firm hand on Jayden's shoulder, forcing him to meet his gaze. "Listen to me, Jayden. Dylan's words don't reflect who you are. They're just echoes of his own insecurity. You have something special, a gift that deserves to be seen, felt, and celebrated. Don't let his ignorance silence you." Jayden remained silent, absorbing Marcus's unwavering conviction, the earnest sincerity in his friend's voice slowly chipping away at the doubt clouding his heart. Marcus continued softly, "There's a county-wide talent competition next month. It's your chance to show everyone who you really are. You owe it to yourself to try." The thought terrified Jayden, yet deep within, a spark ignited, small but undeniable. Over the next few weeks, Marcus became Jayden's steady support, quietly encouraging him each day. Their friendship became Jayden's lifeline, Marcus's words a constant reminder that he wasn't alone. Slowly but surely, Jayden began to dance again, each step reclaiming a piece of himself that Dylan had tried to steal. Marcus often sat quietly nearby, offering reassuring nods and smiles, providing silent encouragement that spoke louder than words. One evening, beneath the familiar glow of streetlights, Jayden danced like never before, pouring out every emotion, every struggle, every ounce of determination into his movements. When the music stopped, Marcus applauded softly, pride evident in his eyes. Jayden exhaled shakily, determination overcoming the lingering doubt. He knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, that stepping onto that stage meant confronting fear, vulnerability, and judgment. Yet, with Marcus's unwavering support, he felt ready to embrace the challenge. The next morning, Jayden stood before the registration table at school, his hands trembling slightly as he signed his name for the talent competition. Marcus stood beside him, nodding proudly as he placed a supportive hand on Jayden's shoulder. When the day of the competition finally arrived, nerves tightened Jayden's chest like a vice, each heartbeat echoing with anxiety and anticipation. As he waited backstage, he saw many talented dancers, confident, polished, experienced, and doubt began to creep back in. Marcus sensed this and leaned closer, whispering firmly, "You've got this, Jayden. This is your moment." Stepping onto the brightly lit stage, Jayden's heart raced. The crowd's expectant murmurs hushed into silence as the music began. With the first beat, Jayden lost himself completely, channeling every struggle, every triumph, every ounce of his story into his dance. His movements were powerful yet graceful, raw yet refined, telling a narrative more profound than words ever could. As Jayden danced, the audience was captivated, eyes wide with amazement and admiration. Whispers of awe quickly gave way to enthusiastic applause and cheers. Some students stood up spontaneously, clapping rhythmically, their faces filled with excitement and wonder. Teachers exchanged astonished looks, clearly moved by the passion radiating from Jayden's performance. Even Dylan, standing quietly at the back, watched with a mix of surprise and grudging respect, his earlier arrogance replaced by visible discomfort and introspection. When the final note echoed through the auditorium, silence hung momentarily in the air, before erupting into a deafening roar of applause. Students and parents alike rose to their feet, shouting and cheering Jayden's name. Marcus, standing near the stage, smiled proudly, his eyes shining with joy and genuine pride. After the applause and cheers faded, a distinguished man approached Jayden and Marcus. "Young man, your performance was truly outstanding," he said sincerely. "I'm Vincent Reed, the CEO of Reed Entertainment. If you're interested, I'd like to help you further develop your talent." Jayden's eyes widened in surprise. Marcus smiled encouragingly. "This is an amazing opportunity, Jayden. Don't let it pass you by." Jayden took a deep breath and met Vincent's gaze confidently. "I'd love to. Thank you so much for this chance." Vincent smiled warmly. "I'll reach out soon. From now on, always believe in yourself." Turning to Marcus, Jayden spoke with gratitude. "Thank you, Marcus. Without you, I never would have stepped onto this stage." Marcus shook his head, smiling warmly. "I was just your cheerleader. You're the one who created the magic today." Jayden smiled softly, looking toward the stage, the place where his dreams had finally begun. Through Jayden's journey, we learn about resilience, authenticity, and the courage to overcome adversity. Jayden teaches us that true strength comes from within, and passion can rise above prejudice and hardship. Marcus exemplifies the profound impact of genuine friendship and support, showing how encouragement and belief can change someone's trajectory. Conversely, Dylan's character is a stark reminder of how privilege and cruelty can blind individuals from seeing the worth in others, ultimately isolating themselves. Vincent Reed highlights the importance of recognizing and nurturing talent, regardless of background. Now it's your turn to reflect. What do you think of Jayden's choices and Marcus's role as a supporter? Can you empathize with Dylan, or do you feel he's beyond redemption? Share your perspectives, even if they differ, because every voice matters.